Hi everybody. Aloha from Hawaii. Alright, so in this video we are jumping all over the place. First thing we're going to do is build ourselves a new Comm 2 shelf. Our second Comm is remote and it is located where the glove box is. Now I've never actually seen anyone use the glove box, but we're going to use at least the entrance for it to be the interior housing where the Comm 2 is going to be stored. You've seen this before. We actually took the original shelf for the second Comm because it wasn't quite sized right, and we wound up using that for the Fly EFI ECUs. So that's what is actually, those are mounted on, is that. The second shelf, which you'll see here in just a second, we made it, and it sort of works, but the material is very flimsy, even with the strengthening bins around the side. It's still just way too thin. There you can see it there. And, you know, it's okay, but we needed something a little bit thicker. So I got some 32 thousandths aluminum, and we're making the shelf out of that. Plus, look at the size of those flanges. Things are way too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some 1/4-inch flange. The flange itself, the bend, is what makes it stiff, not necessarily the size of the flange. Plus, we're not riveting anything to it anyway, so we got the flanges marked out, and now we're going to go over and do the bending. This metal bender that I bought for the club, best thing we've ever bought. So that's the first thing we're working on today. We're going to get back to that in later videos, I promise. Later, what we're going to do, or I should say next up on the list here, and these are all things that we have to get done to get the top skin on, is we're replacing a wire that attaches from the A&L fuse, from the alternator, over to the alternator ammeter shunt. The wire was too short, and because of that, it was not coming out of the firewall in a way that was very happy, or, you know, basically, when you have all your wires coming out of the firewall side, you want them to be able to be, you know, grouped together very tightly, because we're going to be having fire shielding around it, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to have a lot of fire barrier gummed up inside of it, and it needs to be nice and tight. The wire was too short, so the bend was too great, so we just replaced it, and it's all happy. Okay, so the next project that we're getting on to, this is the throttle cable bracket. And we are actually going to be spending a lot of time on this, trying to figure out how to get this damn thing right. Let me give you a quick little primer. That is the bottom of the cold air sump. The throttle cable comes across the bottom of it, more or less in that direction, right? Which is fine. The problem is there's no throttle bracket. So the throttle bracket that Vans makes for their cold air sump, which is a different sump, doesn't work. Right? So what we have to do is we're going to have to wind up making a bracket that attaches to there and holds the bracket in place. Right? In at least 2 dimensions. So it's basically get something to attach to those 3 points, which also has a 90-degree down bracket to then have the throttle cable go through it and yet still be long enough to reach over to the throttle body. Right? Easier said than done. I think we wind up going through, I think 3 or 4 prototypes here. I mean, there's at least a couple more videos for it, but we'll be getting into that. And there's my feed, in case you needed to see some of that. All right, going to end this one off. I hope everyone's having a good week. Oh, there's Victor, probably here to drink all my whiskey or burn the place down with a cigarette. Again, I hope you're having a good week. Thank you for joining me, everyone, and see you soon.